So the first thing that we're gonna have to do here is probably gonna have to do a little bit with the plumbing, because we're gonna drill a hole right here in the side so we can have the cold water tap into this and the drain can tap into that. I only hope that I have the right pipe sizes. Let's see what happens. So we've got all the plumbing done. I picked up from Home Depot the diameter branch. It's really made for for putting in dishwashers, and it just has this little tip right here, and we're gonna put a 2-inch hole in the side of the cabinet, and we're gonna have the drain pipe or the drain hose go into this pipe right here. As long as it's above the trap, it'll be fine. And you also want to make sure that the down pipe from the sink isn't past the little extension right here, or else obviously everything's going to get blocked. But this particular one actually has a little bit of a piece inside that makes sure that this pipe right up here cannot go past this. So you know, we trim down the this pipe right here with our trusty little saw, and we had a little bit left over. So then we're just going to kind of spin this around. And by the way, this is 1.5-inch pipe. This little piece right here does not come in a 1 1/4, which is typical for all the bathrooms. So basically what we had to do, we just had to get a little extra seal on the inside to make sure that this is good and solid. And we now have 1.5-inch piping for the drain. The water line, and this is the cold water line right here, obviously you want to turn that off first. You would just unscrew your cold water line, put on the adapter that came with the CatGenie, and then you would put that on, make sure it's going towards the side that the hose is going to be, which is going to be this side right here, and make sure all these are tight, make sure that's tight, and then after we get that hole in there and we start feeding the wires through, or feeding the tubes through, then we'll be able to attach that and turn the water back on just to test. Okay, so we marked the hole where we're gonna, or we've marked where we're gonna be putting the hole, and it's probably about 1.5 feet above the floor. You want to make sure that when the waste hose is coming out, that it goes up at least 1 foot. So I just made it a little bit higher than 1 foot, and I'm not sure why. I'm sure it has something to do with the draining, but that's what the instruction manual says. And so pretty much this is where the hole is going to be. So we're going to drill the hole right here with a 2-inch hole saw. And I got a grommet that, you know, just to kind of clean it up and make it look nice. So here we go with the hole. And by the way, you're going to want to do this with a hole saw. Make sure you got a good drill, because hole saws, they're pretty hard to do here. So here we go. See what I mean? And there we go. There is our hole for, we're going to put in our electric and our water and our waste pipe, or waste hose, right through there. Okay, so now we're going to put our water pipe or our water feed hose in there. And we'll leave the excess right over here for right now. As you can see, the grommet is kind of falling off, so we're probably going to have to put a little bit of adhesive in there, but that's not that big of a deal. Always want to make it look nice and clean. So, under here, we have our tap water line. And this is just a simple plug and play. Now, once this is nice and secure, you don't want to turn the water back on just yet, mostly because you have nothing else connected to the other side. So if you turn that back on, you're just going to have water shooting all over the place. Okay, now we put our waste hose in there. And we're going to come to the other side. And it looks like we have a problem. Now this does not plug into that. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to just have to cut this tip off right here, and we're going to fit it. Let's go ahead and make sure that's right. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the hose and we're going to fit it onto basically the same size as this right here with a simple hose clamp. Oh my God, why would you cut that hose? Are you crazy? Then you have to order a new one. This is really just a simple hose that you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever your friendly neighborhood hardware store is. So now that we've got this cut, well, at least almost, let's push this out just a little bit. I mean, we can always cut a little bit more off. I like to leave just a little bit. You know what? Just in case, we're going to cut a little bit more off. And we have plenty of this actually coiled underneath the CatGenie. The instructions say that you want to make sure that none of the hoses are kinked or anything like that. And they're very, very specific on how you coil the hose underneath the unit. So we have plenty of hose to go just in case we did make a mistake in the length that we cut. And I would say at this point that's probably good right about there. You know, we still have enough lift as long as it's past a foot. And then we're just going to put that on this extension. Make sure it's good and tight. I don't think that'll be a problem. And then we're just going to tighten this down with a screwdriver. This is why I hate flatheads. Now remember, this is kind of a light plastic, so you don't want to over tighten. You just want to make sure that this is not going to fall off. You know, you don't want to pinch this plastic right here because it may fold it and cause stoppage, or worse, it'll crack. So, you know, just enough so it's nice and secure, and then you should have a little bit of spin in this so you can actually move it to the back. That way nothing gets caught up in it. And next we're going to do electric, which is really simple because we just have to plug it in. Okay, now the last hole that we're going to have to drill is... Dumbass. Where were we? Okay, the last hole that we're going to have to drill is for the electrical cord, because unfortunately our only power here is our GFI at above the sink level. So we're going to drill this hole and then we're going to pull the cable through, plug it in, and we should be good to go. So now we have the electrical cable going through. You can probably hear the unit beeping since it's officially been plugged in. Looks a little messy in there because a 1-inch drill bit is just not going to be enough to get that through there. And rather than using a completely different hole saw, I just kind of chipped away a little bit and pushed the electrical cable through there with a flathead screwdriver. So it is working. You can tell that it is turned on. And we're going to finish assembling the rest of it and fire it up and see how well it works. But again, as you can see, water line is connected, drain is connected, our toilet is completely undisturbed, and we have basically made ourselves a nice self-contained unit. and we don't have to flush the toilet or keep track of that. There you have it. Whoever invented this thing really needs to be working for NASA.